Hello, Lagos. UpYou Lagos. Greetings, wonderful UpYou community. Welcome to another edition of your favorite female-centric program, UpYou with Ezinne. It's such a rainy day. How are you all doing? It's still scale-up season on here, and in our previous editions, we looked at how to scale a personal brand and how to scale a young business, and today we are coming from yet another interesting angle. Do stay tuned to find out. It's our hour on radio, and I'm here to keep you company wherever you may be. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezinne Kufrekanem, and I'm your host. Welcome back. The topic today is Woman Scale Up. Yes, but before we proceed, who remembers the questions from last week? I hope you are actually asking yourself those questions and pondering on your answers. So today I'm going to give you two more questions. Is my impact scalable? Can my UpYou moments become an UpYou for a lot more people in more places, even to the remotest parts of the earth? You know, that's what scaling is all about. When something that you're doing has a rippling effect that other people in the remotest part of the earth can feel your vibration. If you're able to answer these questions for yourself and your business this season, then our part here on UpYou with Ezinne would have been played. Your scalability or lack of it can define your staying power as a brand, business, or a sought-after person of influence, as you will see today when we begin to engage our guest in the studio. Our guest today on the show is Monalisa Abimbola Azeh, founder and CEO of Nigeria's foremost leather brand, MonaMathews. She obtained a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Lagos and was called to the Nigerian bar in 1985. She worked as a lawyer for several years and even ran her own law firm before entrepreneurship called her name. In 2002, she then founded the leather brand MonaMathews, which designs and retails high-quality handmade leather shoes and bags, and has run it successfully since then. Monalisa Abimbola Azeh attended the Faith Foundation Aspiring Entrepreneurs and Emerging Entrepreneurs program in 2002 and 2019 respectively. She also attended the Lagos Business School EDC in 2009 as a Goldman Sachs scholar, where she obtained a certificate in entrepreneurial management. She served on the federal government Leather Reformation Committee, which was mandated to create a leather policy for Nigeria. A Faith Foundation volunteer and trained mentor, Monalisa Abimbola Azeh is also on the faculty of the Joseph Business School, JBS Lagos, which is an international faith-based business school with campuses in several countries with headquarters in Chicago, United States of America. Monalisa is mother to Oluwapamilerayo and Justina. She serves as a minister at the Covenant Nation. Dear listeners, please join me to welcome the incredibly amazing Monalisa on the program today. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine and excited to be here.
Good. Could you please help me pronounce your daughter's name?
Oluwapamilerayo.
Oluwapamilerayo.
It means the Lord has caused me to laugh with joy.
Shall we even begin that laughter right now? Oh, this is awesome. Amazing. You see, I said it. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Let's not get carried away, because I'm sure when we start, we're never going to stop, and time is beginning to tick on us. So our topic today is Woman Scale Up. Yeah? So please tell me, what's your perception? What's your, when you hear that phrase, Woman Scale Up, what comes to your mind? Please share with us.
The first thing that comes to my mind is, woman, be a better version of yourself.
Oh, wow.
In whatever aspect of your life you feel you need to improve, there's always a chance to go higher. And it could be in your relationships, it could be in your health, it could be in your work, it could be in your personal development. Being a better version of yourself is always a good thing to aspire to.
Whoa, I just like what you've just said, woman, be a better version of yourself. And that presupposes that the woman knows herself in the first place.
That's very important to me. You've got to know yourself. You've got to know your, like your baseline, your starting point. You've got to understand yourself. And I believe that every human being has a certain amount of good in them. So you've got to appreciate that first of all. But then you've got to also be honest with yourself and know that none of us is perfect. And that obviously God is working on various aspects of our lives, and he needs our cooperation, because without that it's not going to happen.
God is working on various aspects of our lives, and he needs our cooperation so that we can continue to become perfect, continue to scale up.
Yes.
Wow, interesting. This your answer aligns with a school of thought that that posits that scale up can be physical, it can be social, it can be emotional, it can be financial.
Absolutely.
It can be spiritual. It can be, you can scale up in diverse places or diverse areas of your life, not just scaling up your business, as it were.
Yes.
Because once we say scale up, is a business term, so to speak, and everybody just starts thinking about innovation and all that. But there is scale up to be done, because if you're not scaled up yourself, then you don't even have the capacity to scale up any brand or business.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like I told you recently in one of our conversations, I started swimming. I started swimming February this year. I started learning how to swim. And the truth is that unless you are physically fit, every other part of your life will suffer. You might have ideas for your business, or you may have plans for your family, but you have to be healthy and able to walk by yourself to execute those things. Physical health enhances your mental health. And your mental health affects your relationships. And of course, it will pivot into your business and every other thing that you're involved in. Even the Bible says physical exercise profits a little, which means that there's profit in it. Okay, I hear you.
Okay, she heard me because I was now saying, oh, she's shaking the table I'm sitting on. And she grabs it and says, okay, I hear you, okay, but we are going to get there, because we all want to scale up. I want to scale up, so I'm definitely have to put in the work I need to put in. Okay, so the phone lines are open. You can hear that this conversation is already taking off in several dimensions. So the number to call is 0913-6000-410. The number to text is 0913-6000-430. So let me take you back to that term, woman scale up.
Okay.
That term encompasses the power and potential of women to create successful businesses and drive economic growth. I think when we say woman scale up on this show, we're actually calling women to action, to assess resources, financing, training needed to start and grow their businesses.
Absolutely.
Now, how has this been with the business you created and the one you run?
Okay, so one of the advantages I believe I have is the fact that I started my business in 2002 January, and I started business school the same month, the same year. So I started simultaneously, and that helped me to develop a mindset towards my business as a profession, a serious business, a brand from the get-go. And even though I started in my living room with absolutely no capital, I still put structure in place, put things in place to show that I was running a proper business. And my clients understood where I was, and many of them have grown with me over the years. And then because learning is a continuum, I've gone back for other courses. That's why I went back to Faith Foundation again, and that's why I went to EDC as well, to just keep learning. If you want to put it in perspective, when I started my business 2002, that was the year GSM first came into Nigeria. And prior to that time, before the GSM even took off as we know it today, to send an email, you had to go to a business center, pay 100 naira for 1 hour on their computer, get a tally, And I mean, it was, so the world has changed. The world has moved on a lot since I started. And so I realized, and then of course I'm in the fashion industry. So there are trends, there are all things changing all of the time. So you have to keep up. You can't stay in one place. You've got to keep, reinventing yourself, so to speak.
Interesting stuff. She's just told us the story, but in that story there are nuggets. And one that strikes me very, very much is you keep learning. You don't stop learning. For you to scale anything, you must be a learner. You must be a seeker. Your knowledge must be 5 and 6. As you acquire it, then you apply it, and then as you apply it, then you transfer it. Absolutely. If you do not do these things, you are not scaling yourself, your impact, nor even your business. So, and you must understand that the woman we have in the studio today has been running a business since 2002. And for you to stay relevant from that time up until now, there is something she knows, which I'm hoping that you will call in to bring out of her and replicate in your own life. So let me, for the benefit of my listeners, take you back even further. Yes, how did you evolve or transform from a lawyer to a foremost manufacturer and retailer of luxury leather goods for men and women?
Well, it started by me being a lawyer that has wide feet. And who was finding it really difficult to get pumps and proper shoes that fit. In addition to the fact that my feet are wide, one is also larger than the other, because I have something called a bunion on my right foot, which I don't have on my left foot. So initially it was a bit easier when shoes were coming in from Italy and Spain, real leather shoes, good quality. They would expand a bit, and all of that. But after a while, as the Nigerian economy nosedived and Naira lost value, the people who were selling shoes here were bringing in things from China. And then even internationally, it turns out that even the international market had gone to China for production, and we're just essentially retailing in Europe and America and all of that. So it just became more difficult for me to get the kind of shoes that were comfortable for me. And then I started to investigate, and I found out that people around me, particularly young men, were wearing real leather shoes that were handmade in Nigeria. And then I found out that there was an underground, how does fella say it? There was an underground movement, of handmade leather shoes. And then one day somebody took me to this market in the heart of Mushi that has sheets and sheets of real leather. And I saw it and I said, man, I'm going to make shoes. So I got introduced to shoemakers, and we just evolved together.
Wow. You see, sometimes when they say these things, when you don't hear the story behind, then it looks like the theory doesn't work. Because all the time in business school or anywhere else, they keep saying, find a problem, solve the problem, and keep solving the problem for as many people as you find, and money will come to you. So you see, there was a problem, there was a pain. She couldn't find the right shoes, and she said, you know what, if I can't find the right shoes, then I'm going to go make these shoes myself. And today, people like us that have large feet, irregular feet, two differently sized feet, and so much more,
and people with normal feet. And even let's not leave them out of it.
Oh, did you see that? The businesswoman says, I have now gone past that solving problem issue. I'm not even doing shoes for regular people who understand.
If you don't mind me interrupting,
go ahead, please.
There are people with normal feet, but who are aging. I have customers in their 60s, in their 70s, in their 80s who want to wear beautiful shoes.
Oh, yes.
And, so it's not even just a size problem. One day I sat at one event and I noticed all the women climbing the stairs. It was so difficult for them to climb. They had arthritis, they had problems with their knees, and things like that. And I thought to myself, okay, so there are a lot of women in this age group. And if you think about it, a lot of them are at the at the peak of their careers, or they already have their own money, and all of that. They just want to live life and look good, So we bring a solution to those people as well, because you want to be, your daughter is getting married or your granddaughter is getting married, and you want to look.
I think I'm in that category. I certainly would like to wear nice shoes and really dance my life.
So that
means I'm coming to be your customer soon.
I tell you, there are different pockets of needs. And because we're small and we're nimble. When I say we're small and we're nimble, I mean, if you look at the shoe industry, people produce thousands of pairs on a daily basis and all of that. And so those people produce for what I call the mainstream, But we have niches, and we're in Lagos, the capital of fashion in Africa. Do you understand? So that a woman is 60 or she's 80 doesn't mean she still wants to look good.
She's fashionable. In fact, now them they chase us now. now them hold the fashion thing. So I like the fact that you said we're nimble, small and nimble, because that brings me to one thought that I've been nursing lately, that scale up doesn't mean get larger in terms of physical whatever. Scale up can also mean refining the product you have.
Absolutely.
Such that it competes internationally and even beats what is out there internationally.
Absolutely. I mean, so one of the things we're doing now, one of the things we're doing now is we have customers that live abroad and they're ordering our shoes. In fact, I said to a friend recently, I said, when we were a bit younger, when someone was going to get married or had a special event, you would go abroad to buy clothes and jewelry and shoes for the event. But, excuse me, people are coming to Nigeria, coming to MonaMathews, coming here to buy things to use for events either in or outside Nigeria, because they now realize. So back to your topic, scaling up. We're intentional about scaling up the quality of our products and the design, and we're intentional about beating the competition. And my competition is not local. My competition is the Gucci's, the whoever of this world.
Can somebody please clap for me? So I clap for her. It's not me. Somebody, please give me that clapping sound there. Give me something for this lady. She says her competition is not local. That is confidence speaking right there. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So the intention is you're wearing a MonaMathews shoe and bag set. And people are like, wow, where'd you get that from?
Like I wowed today when you walked in with your shoe to oppress my life.
And I have feedback from my customers constantly saying, not only are the shoes gorgeous, but they're comfortable. I had a mother of a bride on Easter Sunday. Her daughter got married on Easter Sunday. And then the 80-year-old lady you met in my shop the other day, she had her event on Saturday. And we asked for feedback from both of them. And both of them said the shoes were comfortable. They wore them throughout the ceremony. The mother of the bride, she was wearing like 4.5 inches heel, by the way, and she was comfortable. And then
that 80-year-old woman.
The mother of the bride.
No, that 80-year-old woman. What was her heel?
Her heel was about 2.5. And she was still comfortable.
I can't even do that. I mean, Lagos, I wish you saw this woman. I saw this woman. Oh my goodness.
She was so happy.
80 and chic.
Yes.
There is work.
And she was
shake
really
that table for me a bit more, because I need to fall off it and then go and do the work I need to do.
We're scaling up, so we're going to get there.
Yeah.
By the time we're 80, I mean, obviously, we'll be rocking.
Okay, Lagos, this is so fun, but let's get back to business. So your profile says that you were a member of the Federal Government Leather Reformation Committee.
Yes, so...
And you had the mandate to help Nigeria come up with...
Yes. Because apparently, after oil, leather is the highest generating, foreign exchange generating product for Nigeria. Even now, I still ask myself, is that true? Because I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, considering that fact and what's the reality, how many of us in this room are wearing made in Nigeria shoes? How many of us realize that Nigeria has that amount of leather? Let me shock you. That leather they call Moroccan leather, guess where it's from?
Nigeria.
Sokoto.
Yeah, I know.
That leather they call Italian leather, quite a lot of it comes from Nigeria. So it gets taken out of Nigeria,
in a raw form or semi-raw form.
Yes, and then it's processed abroad, and then it's brought back to us as finished products, either as leather or as shoes and bags. So the federal government said this cannot continue, and we sat down and we talked. We did a lot of research, and all of that. And yes, this government is actually working to implement the policy that was put in place.
Okay, so we do have a leather policy for Nigeria.
Yes, we do. And
we are trying to implement it.
Yes, we are.
This is brilliant. Because you see, like you said, the leather industry has been touted as the second largest foreign exchange earner for the country.
Yes.
So when I saw that, I'm like, really? So I went digging and I started looking at the report, and the report said, and I will quote, "Despite being the second largest source of foreign exchange earning in Nigeria, the industry is still faced with various challenges. The neglect of the leather industry resulted in an annual revenue loss of about $300 million US. And this is staggering, and this is the industry you play in.
Yes.
I see opportunity for scale, because what I understood from the report that I read is that we only do the raw or the semi-processed. If we grew more or scaled up our finished products and exported them, we'll make more money.
So what happened was, I think it was probably in the late 70s or early 80s. If you can relate it to the decline in the naira, and then before we had factories manufacturing shoes, huge factories, automated or semi-automated factories in Nigeria,
like Bata, Leonard's, things like that. Exactly. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and so many others that you probably may not even know their names. And one of the shoemakers that works with me, for instance, he was taught by some Italians at the time when they had a factory in Nigeria that was producing leather uppers for Bali here in Lagos. Trust me, here in Lagos,
goodness.
And but when we went through that period where we lost focus, so to speak, and then electricity became a problem, and all of that, a lot of people removed their investments from those kind of industries, and it's only now that people are beginning to look at it again, and I think it's also because people are now becoming again aware of the fact that Nigeria is a major player in the leather industry. So we are losing capital because the leather is going out in a non-finished manner, but there are young people, who are also coming into the industry. A lot of us are still doing handmade, but a few people are also going into industrialization. There are factories popping up here and there, And I believe that as electricity majorly improves, because you see, it's one thing for you to produce, it's another thing for you to produce and be competitive. If you're going to have to generate your own electricity and produce, it's going to affect
your pricing
at the end of the day, and you will no longer be competitive. So all of those things have to come into play. So government is playing its part by saying, okay, you know what, everybody go produce electricity, states and all of that. So when those things come on stream and come online, people will meet it. I believe more investment will come into the industry, and more people will become active players. And once money is in the, in that space, things will begin to happen.
Interesting. I actually pray and hope that the electricity thing takes off almost immediately, and that because that is one big nightmare that entrepreneurs
a lot of people
face.
Yes.
I recall that one time the government banned Momo. Momo. By the way, do you eat Momo?
I still ate it last night.
Look at the leather merchant herself. So me, I can openly say that I eat Momo. I mean, I was like, actually, how can they ban Momo? Momo cannot be the reason why leather is not leathering now.
Okay, so there are different types of animals that we use their skin, and the more common and widely used skin is from the smaller animals, from the goats, the sheep, particularly the rams that are slaughtered at Ramadan. And that's where majority of the leather that's exported, because if you think of Italian leather, it's always very soft and very supple. Yes. So when you think of the thicker leather, like the kind of thing that comes from Brazil and all of that, those really tough ones, that's the one that comes from the cow. And of course, even on the cow, there's some parts of it that are softer and some parts are, a bit thicker. So the pomo that we this is my personal attitude to the whole argument. The pomo that we consume in Lagos is taken off cows that are brought to Lagos and slaughtered in Lagos. Lagos doesn't have a tannery. Lagos doesn't have any processing industry to convert pomo to leather. Do you understand? But the leather that is processed and exported or used to make finished leather goods comes really from the smaller animals. That is not to say we cannot proceed to, using the bigger animal, the cow and all of that. But I'm sure that by the time the demand for that comes, the system itself will adjust itself.
Okay. So that ban is still in place anyway.
I don't know if there was a ban or I don't know if there was an official ban. I know people mentioned it and me I pretended not to hear that. What is that?
Anyway. So the number to call is 091-360-410. The number to text is 091-360-430. We have a text from the platform. We have a text on the platform? Okay, I thought that was what you were telling me. All right, so we go on. So that is it. Me, I eat pomo, especially the the juicy ones. Okay, let's get back to scaling up. I need to scale up. Maybe I need to go to spare ribs or something. That's part of scaling up too, isn't it? Okay. So yes, something for me. Okay, a call. Good morning. Who is calling? UpyouwithEzinne.
Good morning, Ezinne.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Very well.
I just want to say, my name is Azeh, and I just want to say to MonaMathews that she's doing a great job. Honestly, this is my first time of hearing about her, and I think that she's doing a fantastic job, and she should keep it up.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ada. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ada. Please Google her. She is so famous. Just Google her and then go patronize her. So
yes, I will check her out, definitely.
Thank you. So,
thank you.
Despite all the advantages of scaling up that a woman can enjoy, scaling up physically, socially, financially, and all of that, women still face a lot of challenges when it comes to scaling up their businesses in particular, and when you do the investigation, top of the list is always access to the market or access to capital funds. Then of course we have the social and cultural barriers which they're grappling with. How have you been able to cope, and what advice would you have for other women entrepreneurs like you to help them along the path to be able to scale their persons and their businesses?
Okay, the first thing is information. You've got to be knowledgeable. You've got to be really knowledgeable about the space in which you're working. You've also got to keep abreast of information in terms of whatever it is that you are aspiring to. You don't sit in a cocoon and expect that things will come to you.
This keeps coming all the time.
You've got to go out there, you've got to find out information. And thank God for the internet and all the information that's available. And then there are also short courses, that things you can do. And Nigerian government today is really deliberate about getting the money to the women. So there are even banking policies that insist that a certain amount of money in each bank should be kept aside for women. So you just need to go there and ask for it. And then what I've discovered that most of these financial institutions do is that they create a course, some kind of course for you to attend, and then if you complete it successfully, then you get access to finance either.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, UpyouwithEzinne. Who is calling and where are you calling from?
My name is Omobolanle. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria.
Morning, Omobolanle. How can we help you?
I was going to ask the guest a question. Apparently, she answered. I must comment. She's really doing a great job.
Okay.
She's doing a good one. Okay, so I was going to say that let's assume that there was a tanner in Lagos where hides can be processed into leather. How would you convince an average Nigerian not to consume pomo? Because she said she consumes pomo. I do as well. So how do you intend to go about it if by miracle today,
there's a tanner in Lagos?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so in the north, the way they collect the skin is that as soon as the animals are slaughtered, the skin is removed, and there are people you call skin collectors who go all around and collect the skin. The only reason why you are eating pomo is because you see it in the market to buy.
True.
If it's not there, you will eat the rest of the cow now, not so. So that's why I say that by the time every bit of the puzzle comes together, this cow skin will not even be available. It will be from the slaughterhouses that they will be collected, and taken to the tannery if there's a tannery that wants them.
What you've just said now, thank you very much, Mobalanle. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
So what you just said now reminds me of how milk is collected in the north too, from the animals. They go early in the morning and collect the milk and then send them for processing.
Yes.
Yeah. So at least the thing is that we have the blueprint, or you have the blueprint of
Yes.
how it should work.
Yes.
So the thing is for government to continue to give us enabling environment.
Absolutely.
For all of this to come to play, so there's a question here for you very quickly. This question came in, hang on a second. This question came in from Sarah. Sarah was saying, is there any advice you have for women out there who are listening to this conversation and feel that grants and programs are for people the organizers already know? I think this was in response to the stuff you were talking about, courses, and then if you complete them successfully. So she's saying, I
don't agree, because the amount of money that has been allocated is enormous. And if they keep giving it to people that they know as opposed to people who qualify, remember we're talking about loans that must be returned. If the people don't return the money, the banks, the financial houses will run into problem. Number one. Number two, even for grants, when you give grants, you follow up on the people you give the grants to. So you want to see their performance index. You want to see that there's been an improvement in their businesses, in their lives as a result of the grant. If there's nothing to show, there's going to be a problem. And in institutions that give grants, have donor agencies or donor institutions that give them those grants.
The money,
that give them the money for them to give out as grants. So if they don't perform next year, they're not going to get. So if there's a self-governing, process around the whole thing, and we need to not say I'm not going to apply because of this and that.
Yeah. So Sarah, please just go out there. Information, like she said, is very key. Get the information and then go do what you have to do. Apply. See it through to the end and then see whether you will not be able to qualify to receive for yourself. So time is really not our friend, and I'm really itching to ask you this question, so I'm going to ask you very quickly. What has been your staying power in the leather industry? How have you remained competitive with the massive import of Chinese leather goods and the increased use of synthetic leather and other cheaper fabrics?
Well, for everything is always God, first of all. And then in addition to that, if you are able to identify your niche, if you're able to identify your target market, the kind of people that I like to serve, they're people who can get on a plane and go and buy their shoes from anywhere in the world, So I said something in my shop yesterday. I said to my girls, when my customers travel, when they come back, they always come back to order shoes from me. The reason is because when they go out there and they see what they like and they look at the prices and they realize that for like half of this, MonaMathews can do me something as nice or even better. Do you understand? So it's staying in the game. First of all, there'll be disappointments, there'll be pitfalls, there'll be, things will happen along the way, but just cry a little, wipe your face, get up the next morning and show up
and keep scaling.
Yeah, just keep doing it, and then just keep it. Information, you can't get around it.
See,
just keep checking on things. If you're selling something, you need to know how much is the next person selling it, what is the value that you're bringing to the table, what are the advantages that you have that your competition doesn't have, and so on and so forth. So, and then keep believing in yourself, keep believing in your team, keep driving it. There are days when you don't feel like doing anything. Okay, just go out, get a sandwich, do something different. But the next day, show up again. Just keep doing it.
Stick to itiveness. You stick to it and it sticks to you.
Yes.
Congratulations. Can you in 1 minute tell me about Joseph School of Business?
Joseph Business School. Okay, Joseph Business School was founded by Dr. Bill Winston in the United States of America. And essentially, it's a business school that's faith-based. And the whole idea is that as a Christian, we actually have advantages that other people don't have. And that if we apply that advantage, that's the God factor, to business knowledge, understanding, and all of that, if we put those two together, you make an unbeatable team.
Fantastic. So if you're looking for where to get the push, the everything to ginger you on your entrepreneurial journey, you just know that there is a school called the Joseph Business School. So women, there is no excuse why you're not scaling up.
Absolutely.
We've given you a woman who stayed in business actively, claiming her space, owning her space, competing with what is out there in the world. She's giving you the secrets, she's giving you the nuggets. So I hope that you're going to key in, and then we're going to get women who are scaling up. So Monalisa, in 5 seconds, say bye-bye to Lagos and encourage the women.
I want to say hello, Lagos, first. Thank you for loving MonaMathews. I want to say to the women, just do it. You can do it. It's possible, it's doable, it's achievable. Get up and do it.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolutely amazing hour with you, and thank you for coming on the show. Dear women, my take today is also her closing line. It is possible. It is doable. You can do it. You, yes, you listening to me right now. You that you just want to reduce the volume of your radio. Don't reduce it. Listen more. You can do it. God bless you all. This is where we wrap up today's edition of Up You with Ezinne. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Up You with Ezinne, and do get copies of our books, When Adversity Strikes, Fight, and Up You. Thank you to everyone who is involved in creating this magic every week. Starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, our advertisers, the callers, the texters as well, the engineers on duty, my producer, the amazing Up You team, 98.3 Mainland FM, the sound of Lagos. You all stay strong, stay blessed, stay lifted, keep scaling up. My name is Ezinne Kufrekanem. Until I come your way next time, it's Up You.